Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. I'm your host, Steven. I'm joined today by Jack and Alex. Stealth and Alex. We are
get my name right.
That's fair. We are here to talk about Secret Level because it just released on Prime Video here on December 10th. And though I have not watched it yet myself, Stealth and Alex have definitely watched it. They have a lot to say about it and some recommendations which episodes to watch because we'll get into that in a little bit. But I'd have some questions for them and hopefully they can give me some answers. Alex, you said you had some details of the show before we got started.
Yep, no, I appreciate it. So I'll just start by saying that when I got the news of this announcement, I was pretty stoked. There's a very specific reason. The studio, the same studio that just made this show, they became popular over the years as they developed a show on Netflix called Love, Death, and Robots. And that show has been around for several years. They made 3 whole seasons on it, and I binged every single season that came out on Netflix. It's the director of the show is Tim Miller. He's mostly known as the director of the original Deadpool film. And as I was looking into what else he's done, I found out that he was an executive producer for all 3 Sonic films. So,
really?
Keep that in mind. So, yeah, we definitely have some, relation here as far as somebody in the video game world. I don't think I would consider him a gamer, but he's got his leg in making the deals and what have you, right? So, because we were wondering when Love, Death, and Robots Season 4 was coming, and to our knowledge, it probably still is coming, but it looks like they put all their attention on Secret Level. And it sounds like took them it took them 2 or 3 years to make these episodes. They've been looking on
gorgeous.
They are gorgeous. We're talking probably top of the line CGI. And
it looks incredible.
And I will, if anybody's wondering this, some people are saying, is it anything like Love, Death, and Robots? I would say, yeah. I got 2 of my buddies to watch this because I said it's basically Love, Death, and Robots Season 4. I say that because of the style, because they are off. The Love, Death, and Robots is also an anthology, and you get to see some interesting stuff. With that said, they were very faithful in following the worlds and the episodes based off of these games. And to answer another question that some people will have here, they'll probably look at the list of games that are featured on Secret Level and say, I haven't played most of these. Well, guess what? I'm in the same boat. I probably played 1 or 2 of them. Most of these I'm unfamiliar with. So I came into this blind, came into this with an open mind saying, okay, well, let's see what this video game world has to show. And I binged it all, and I convinced Jack to binge it, so I had somebody else to share. But yeah, there's kind of your little introduction. You got any questions?
Okay, there's one episode that I'm particularly interested in hearing about. And it's from the game Concord, because Concord was a tremendous flop in the gaming industry. Did it redeem itself in the episode that it had?
If I'm assuming correctly, Concord, it was like the 13th episode. It was around the end.
Yeah, it's episode 13 for me.
Okay, so yeah, it's the same for everybody. And we'll just walk right into it since you brought it up. I'm just going to say this, and I'm curious to hear if Jackson has similar thoughts. I didn't think it didn't really help Concord, but I didn't think it hurt it. I thought it was okay, but it was ultimately a little forgettable.
Okay. That's what I
think. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I will say this, I liked the intro. First minute was great, but that's the unfortunate part because the rest of it was just the opening that introduced it, I thought was really funny. It had a really funny sequence introducing you to space, and then it also had a really gorgeous sequence using the CGI. So as far as graphics and visuals go, it actually was really impressive. I'll give them that, but I can't speak for the story and the characters. They could have maybe been interesting characters if I had an hour and a half to be with them, but you only got 15 minutes with them. So you're just kind of okay.
They're probably kicking themselves for making it one of their longest episodes. I mean, yeah, so it's just wasted space at this point. because it looks like it's never coming back because they fired all the Firewalk studios. So there's not going to be a resurgence of Concord.
That's a whole other discussion.
Maybe they have an internal studio take it.
Yeah,
but I'll say this about it. None of the characters made me want to vomit out of my eyes like the actual Concord characters did, so thumbs up on that. But like, I could actually look at these characters and be like, okay, you know, I don't want to die.
Didn't hate them right off the bat.
Yeah, you don't hate them off the bat. Some of them actually look pretty cool, so...
So for Concord...
It's like they're completely different designers? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, how did these come out good while the other ones came out just complete?
If these characters
I don't know,
more in the design of like the game, I even also contemplated this. I wondered if this episode itself, because Jackson pointed out perfectly, this was one of the longer episodes, and if this episode was to, let's say, come out before Concord, like kind of introduce people to the game without giving it the introduction it really got, it maybe would have helped it.
I don't know. I would say different, because imagine getting this, like, okay, here's our Concord characters, and they're like, all right, here's Captain Tupperware, as somebody called them, and everybody's gonna be like, what happened?
That's a fair
between
point.
them and there.
People who would grow attached to the episode would see the game intro and be like, wait, this isn't what I want.
Yes.
Yep. That's a good point.
This is what I'll say about it. It was Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's basically
like, that's what people said. It was basically Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep. That's all I'll say. It's not the greatest episode. It's not the worst episode. It's just okay. I'm not gonna just be like, oh yeah, total trash. Nah, it wasn't trash, but it just wasn't very memorable. It just kind of was there.
No.
Yep. So. Yep, there you go. So that's the
and it'll never be there again.
Okay,
so.
and that's kind of it. And it's funny because it took the director we're talking about, Tim Miller, and the studio really threw them off guard when Concord was canceled, and they're like, I don't know how it happened, and unfortunately, almost all these guys don't know how the gaming world works, and it's we could tell you what happened, but they saw it through a different lens, right? They saw the people working on this for years, so to them, it obviously was more passion put in, so it was a little heartbreaking. But there was a big debate that I thought was really silly, and people were discussing, like, why didn't you cancel and take the episode out of the show? And they're like, no, we're not going to take the episode. And I completely agree. No, Aaron, if it's made, people put time into animating that, put it on.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the time and money that went into making just that one episode.
Exactly.
Each episode must have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Exactly. So if
there's
any semblance or credibility for Concord anywhere out there in some universe, it has a little pretty episode of itself out there. So there you go.
There you go. Little send-off.
Little send-off. There you go. Like Jack says, I don't think we're going to see it again.
Yeah. If the game was actually like the episode, we might have got something that could have got a little popular.
Yep.
Nice.
That was not the case.
Correct. The marketing team really blew it. And it's weird because I would almost say the marketing team for this episode did a much better job.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
That's good to know.
So there you go. There you go.
Look forward to it. Absolutely.
Yep. Fantastic. So should we go on to the next episode?
Yes, let's go on to the next episode.
All right. So we'll go down the order of the episodes. So the first one is Dungeons and Dragons. Medium-sized episode. It was one of the longer ones. I think it's around 10 to 15 minutes. Gorgeous. There are some scenes that are so good looking that I would say it's probably worth a watch.
Yeah.
There's a scene, and I'm just going to bring this up, that really made me laugh. The Dungeons & Dragons episode really does just capture the ultimate feel of just playing a D&D campaign. It's just a group of 5 people going into a dungeon to encounter a fight. And they have some trouble on the way, and they have a dwarf, they got a gnome character, they got the mage, the cleric, and there's a scene where this undead necromancer is approaching this gnome wizard, and it made me laugh so hard because she keeps trying to use her fire spell to stop him, and every time she's about to use her fire spell, he snaps his finger, and it just puts her spell out, her fire. What? Yeah, so he's just sitting there just snapping his finger as he's slowly getting closer to her. And I was just like, man, that's just straight up like from a WoW game that I play. Like, getting a streak. There were some parts that made me laugh pretty hard. So,
Dude, that's crazy.
yep.
Yeah, I'll add the Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's, if you have played the game before, I think it's pretty faithful, as in it was kind of chaotic a little bit, where, you know, everything doesn't go as planned, and kind of at the end, they get the giant boss at the end. So, I think if you are a Dungeons and Dragons fan, you'll probably like the episode. I think it was...
I'd say it's worth a watch.
Yeah, it's worth a watch, and it's also really gorgeous.
Yeah.
Because that's something else I wanted to hear is what episodes you would recommend us someone watching. So this is one of them?
This is one I would recommend if you are a fantasy and D&D fan. Yes.
Perfect.
There is some imagery in here that looks so cool. Holy cow.
Like, yeah, the dragons in it.
Oh.
They had, I guess you could say there was a lot of them, but like the golden dragon looks so good.
If this show did anything that it was sent out to do, it's just the technical achievement in the CG. It's just gorgeous.
Okay.
You won't see anything
Just
better.
the trailer, okay?
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to see anything look better in a movie theater. Like, amazing. So, yeah, I would say if you're a D&D fan, or have a little bit of campaign or D&D, it's worth checking out.
Yeah, I'd give that a thumbs up. Worth the watch.
So,
sick.
The next one is a game I've never played. I've only heard of the name. It's called Sifu. Have any of you guys heard of it?
I've never heard of Sifu.
I've heard of Sifu before. I've never played it or really looked into it before this.
Yep. I love this episode.
Yeah.
This episode's awesome. Now, with that said, here's an easy way to tell if I can recommend it to you. If you're a fan of Kung Fu movies or John Wick, it's worth watching. If you like John Wick or Kung Fu stuff, it's heavy in the violence. There's a lot of blood, but I don't think there's any language that I can remember. But it's really cool. Has a real.
I think there's gangsters in it, so I think they might have said a few words.
There could have been.
I can't remember. I don't think it was that bad.
But it has a very
where
central video game theme to it. The story, the message, and it's short. It's only like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a short one, but this is one I would recommend. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, the bad guy looked like he was from a video game.
The third episode it's based off that, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, it's based off that Amazon open world game called New World.
New World.
Yep.
New World. This episode is interesting. Let me just put it that way. It's interesting. And I say that because...
Yeah, it's understatement.
I've heard so many different opinions regarding this episode. So, even if I was to recommend it, I have no idea what you're going to think of it. Because I got one buddy who didn't like it, but I got two other friends who liked it. I liked it. But you have to just take it for what it is and not have expectations.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But
one of
the main
those.
character is voiced by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's really funny.
Yeah, it's just surprised to just see Arnold Schwarzenegger come into this.
Yeah, it's voiced by Arnold, and it's amusing. The episode was just funny. It felt like a clip from a comedy movie, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it felt like a cartoon of like the Roadrunner, where Arnold's trying to beat the king, and the king just beats him every single time, no question, you know.
Yes, it's I liked it, but I can't guarantee you will. It's a weird one, but just throwing it out there. If you're curious, if you're a little bit curious and you're a fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger, yep, go for it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
it's almost worth the watch just to see your opinion on it, Steven.
Okay. If you're a fun-going guy, I'd say watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're more serious, I'd say avoid it.
I'm definitely not a serious person.
Yeah, so that's how I would recommend. If you're more serious and you want something more pretty, more grounded, I'd avoid it. But if you're like, you just here for fun, it's probably worth your time.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I personally
it literally was just there for fun, pretty much.
Yep.
Nothing really happens. It just has like ends with like this message about friendship and like
I mean, it does. It does have a
Interesting.
good message. So
yeah.
Right.
I'll give it
Okay.
that. So
Okay.
all right. Well, the next one is Unreal Tournament. So Unreal Tournament, I don't think I really have to really introduce it unless you're a new gamer. That thing's been around for most of a millennial gamer's life. It's part of a arena shooter franchise.
Okay. That's right.
Yeah, it's in the lines of Doom and old school Doom and Quake, right?
Yep.
And I didn't really know if it has much of a story, and I've been meaning to visit this franchise. The reason I didn't is it's mostly focused on multiplayer, but I believe it does have a story in there, as this episode has shown. This episode doesn't really show us much of the world, but all we'll say is this is one of the best episodes in the show.
Oh,
This
Yeah.
episode is awesome.
ooh.
Yeah,
It's
the
20 minutes
episode
as
is-
well.
Yep.
Yeah, it has really good choreography, I'll say, of the fights and stuff, and it's see the robot kind of
Don't spoil anything.
yeah.
Watch
There
it,
is
Jack.
the robot is the main character kind of in it.
Yes.
So
Sweet.
Yeah, that's all I can say is that if you're a
Sweet.
fan of Unreal, you've been treated well. If you're a fan of first-person shooters, especially arena shooters or multiplayer, anything like Halo, you're gonna love this episode.
and
Episode was awesome.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, so just throw that. I would absolutely. This was one of my favorite. Recommended. Bam. Done.
yeah,
Done.
recommend.
Stamp
recommend.
of approval.
Yep. Stamp of approval. Okay, so the next one.
Oh yeah, now we're getting good.
Whoa.
Now we're getting good.
Okay, if this next one's Warhammer Online, Warhammer 40K. If this episode was the only thing that would have come from this, it would have made the whole thing worth it.
Dang.
This episode
Wow.
was. It's really hard to. All I'm gonna say is this, and anybody who's watching this and has seen it's gonna be nodding their head. This episode was something. It was absolutely awesome. And without spoiling anything, all I'm going to say is it's just exactly what you would expect from this world. You're going to get a bloodbath of just heavy, hard violence. And, it's not just because the first half, you get to see this big old brawl between what are they? They're like Marine Crusaders or something. I know I'm not,
what they are called.
there's a Warhammer
Look it
fan
up.
out there losing his mind right now.
Right.
Yeah. But anyways, they're kind of like Crusader, like they're these super soldiers, right? You get to see these guys fight an army. And then after that, it descends into something that goes way twisted into like a Lovecraftian horror film.
What?
And I'm gonna leave it there. But it's
Yeah,
so
leave it there.
good. It is.
What?
This is if you're gonna watch any of these, this is one you have to watch.
Okay.
It'll blow your mind.
Let's
It'll blow
go.
your mind.
I'm excited.
Like this is the one I give a 10 out of 10.
I don't know how much editing I'm going to do on this video tonight. I might just be watching this stuff.
Do it. Just
Instead of
watch.
editing.
Please do that.
Yeah.
But I give this one a 10 out of 10. Watch it. No questions asked.
Yeah.
So
it's-
this is the must watch.
This
yeah.
is there's
I
one
don't know
more.
anything about Warhammer.
Okay.
I don't. And yeah, I'm not a Warhammer fan, but that was like just one of the most awesome things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
like
Like,
how
Jeez.
bad they made those soldiers as they're coming in was just something else.
Yeah, like Jack and I grew up with Blizzard cinematics, so we know what a cool 5-minute
Yeah.
cinematic is. And watching this as a gamer, I can say that was one of the coolest cinematics I've seen. And my buddy,
Wow.
who's older than me, he's a father. He stopped playing games a while ago. He watched it the same night and was like, "Dude!" he loved it. Everybody that I know loved it. There's not a single person I haven't seen that didn't like it. This is worth
It's
your time.
amazing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you'll know exactly
Noted.
what I mean when you watch it.
I am excited.
So there you
So
have it.
stamp of approval here. This is
Stamp
the
of
absolute
approval.
must watch.
This is
That is- if you're going
if
to
you're-
watch
yeah.
one thing, I'd probably say it's that one.
it would probably be
Wow.
So-
Okay.
So there you
Noted.
go. Warhammer is a must. So the next one This is a fun one.
This one doesn't make any sense to me. How in the world? What?
Okay.
This one is episode 6 is Pac-Man Circle.
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
It's
You make a movie about Pac-Man.
So, you do it by making it a clever marketing scheme.
Yep.
Do you remember, Steve, when they announced the Pac-Man Metrovania?
And
Yes.
Hey, this was a trailer to that game.
Oh, okay.
this got us literally into the idea because they had released that in the Game Awards of no fanfare. Everybody would have been like, what the heck are you doing, Namco?
Yeah. So my buddy did some digging on this episode, and I forgot the company that owns Pac-Man, but
I think it's Namco.
Namco. When they went to Namco came back with this idea. So this wasn't even just written by some random guy trying to make a name. This was Namco like, you know what? Let's do Pac-Man. Here's our idea. So I don't know what happened. Were they designing this game and I don't know what happened first, the trailer or the game, but they both go together. And when I saw the episode, all I'm going to tell you is this. The episode is very dark and violent.
Yeah.
What?
It's very dark and violent.
What?
Yeah, it's one of the... Jeez, it might be the darkest episode. It's like...
It might.
Almost like this...
That doesn't make any sense.
It's like this Lovecraftian theme. Like,
It puts you in a world of... Here's the thing. It puts you in a world where the entire philosophy is either you eat or you be eaten. And when I saw it, I was like, that is so dark. How is that? And I thought about it. I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's literally the philosophy of Pac-Man.
I mean, shoot. That is fair. Absolutely fair.
Like, so if
what makes it 16 plus.
Yes,
makes
it is. It's 16 plus. But it did the polar opposite of what like Mario and Sonic did, where they made a faithful adaptation to something that kids can watch, right? This did the polar opposite. It went, no, we're going to do something grim. We're going to do something dark. This episode, it's not rated R for dialogue. Language, but it's
just very
philosophically and gore and blood is all there, and it's very twisted.
What? Yeah.
I'm just curious for that one.
I would say if you
what the garbage.
This is a weird one to recommend. If you heard if you're hearing this and you're shaking your head, just there's no interest.
Like me.
Yeah. But if you're finding yourself intrigued, watch it.
Interesting.
I would say it's not a bad episode. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. It's such a weird twist on Pac-Man. It's like
it really is.
You just can't look away, kind of thing.
And it had its own identity. It sticks out. If I was to revisit this for season 1 again for Secret Level, I would absolutely watch this episode again.
Yeah,
it sticks out and it's memorable. I'm never going to forget it. So there you have it. That's the Pac-Man episode. The 7th episode, we can make this real quick. This is called, this is based off a 2007 shooter game named Crossfire, and it's basically a copycat of Counter-Strike. I don't want to put any bad feelings towards anybody who's a fan of this franchise. I've never played it, so I'm not an authority on it. All I'm going to say is this. It felt like a wasted opportunity to me. That's all. Was the episode bad? Not really. It just wasn't. I was uninterested. The entire episode could have been live action. Everything that happens can happen in real life. It's just simply a bunch of military people doing operation. That's it.
Oh, wow.
There's nothing video game feeling about it at all.
Weird.
So
that was my problem with it, because I wish it was that board game Crossfire, in the 90s, where that kid gets banished to hell for like losing or something. And that's what I wish it was based off of.
No, it is. It's like Sekiro. It's like your average generic military movie, only it's 15-20 minutes. It's a long one, but nothing.
It is a long one.
It's a long one, yes, and it could have easily been done in live action. Nothing stands out to make it feel like it's a video game. It just feels like a live action military drama. Yeah, I would not recommend.
Opportunity. Hey, don't watch that one, guys.
Nope, do not recommend unless you're into that stuff.
Yeah, unless you love military
That's
squad,
fair.
I mean, watch it. But
Yeah, if you're a
for
Call
me,
of
it just
Duty
seemed
fan,
like a waste of a slot.
exactly. That's how
That's so sad. That's sad.
I know. That's so.
Okay.
That's Crossfire. So the next one, I believe Jackson's the only person who played this game, Armored Core. You want to introduce this one,
Yeah.
Jack?
So Armored Core. This one I actually liked a lot because at least playing, I think it's the newest one, Fires of Rubicon or whatever it's called. That was the only Armored Core I played. And the character in it does have a voice in their head, kind of similar to what happens in this episode. So I thought that was actually pretty cool and faithful to the game of kind of this voice where you're like, is this real or is it not? Because the voice is like predicting stuff that's going to happen and things.
Mhm.
So you're like, this voice probably is real if it's able to do that and actually give like combat advice and all of that. But I thought Keanu Reeves did a good job on this one.
Yep.
And it was pretty faithful to the game because the game is just your mercenaries killing each other and there's really no morality in it. So it kind of showed that point of it. You know, Keanu Reeves just thinks he's the best. Nobody else can beat it. And the voice is kind of taunting him for that. And
If you're
so I thought it was a really good adaptation of Armored Core, honestly.
and
It's
if-
awesome.
yeah, and if you've never played Armored Core like me, you're a fan of, let's say, Neon, Genesis, or Gundam, any type of big
Yep.
robot franchise, this was awesome. I liked it. It's very rated R, and Keanu Reeves plays a character kind of like Johnny Silverhand. He's edgy.
Yeah.
He's an alcoholic. He has so many problems, and he's lashing them out into the world, right? So it has that grim, edgy feel. But when he gets in the robot and when he's fighting, there are some really outstanding scenes here. Like visually, how it's fast paced. It was cool. I liked it. It was up there as one of the ones I really enjoyed, and I
Yeah.
thought Keanu Reeves did a good job.
If you want to see giant mechs fighting, this is the one you want to see. So I'll give that
Okay,
thumbs
right.
up.
Yep,
Well, that's always fun for me to watch. So
yep. So that was a fun one. So I'd recommend it. But again, like just keep that in mind. It's one of those R-rated ones.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yep,
I would
yep.
say
More
yes.
R-rated.
Yep, it was R-rated. Okay.
oh, here it goes.
This one. So
Episode
I'm gonna okay. Let me start by saying something really funny here. The episode 9 is Outer Worlds, which I've never played, but
Right.
when we were having a discussion on Discord about Secret Level before it came out, and I remember being so excited specifically for this episode because I misread the title. I thought it was saying Outer Wilds, not Outer Worlds.
Oh,
And I played Outer Wilds. And it's going to get juicier because a lot of critics, the show overall had positive reception from critics and users. It overall had a positive reception. But there were a lot of critics that didn't like it because personally, I think they just don't understand the concept of an anthology. and because a lot of the complaints were
Yep.
weird. Well, they all have cliffhangers. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what they do. And but somebody said that the show was not good. Most of the episodes were bad, except he said the Outer Worlds episode was the best one. And it was better than all by far. And when I saw the episode, I just said, "Am I watching the same episode?"
Oh no!
Yeah.
So another bad one.
I'm
So
not-
episode 7
I'm
and
not
9.
of my. Let me put it this way. I'm just going to put it this way. My friend who watched this with me, he kept saying, he kept calling it the simp episode. I'm not going to go into
Oh.
details here,
Oh,
but this episode was just weird, man. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It was not my favorite. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Let's just
I'll
move
say
on.
about
Go ahead,
episode
Jack.
9 is kind of, it felt like it was trying to be lighthearted and serious at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's just the tone of Outer Wilds, the game, so maybe they were being faithful to it. Like, I've never played it either. But,
The other,
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know. It was just kind of weak, I thought, to me.
I agree. And the other problem is we just spoke about Armored Core. What a good episode does is it introduces you to that game. So Armored Core made me think, oh wow, is that what Armored Core is like? Which it is. Warhammer absolutely did that. This one, I don't even know. Like, was this just someone's idea that just two characters in this world that has nothing to do with
That's
the
what I
game?
was.
But it didn't make me interested in the game at all. Just
Yeah.
saying.
I'm thinking the
That's so bad.
company and like how it works probably is how it is in the world. You know,
Might be
people
right.
are disposable, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to play it after watching that, to be honest.
Yep. So it does not have my stamp of approval. Just putting it that way.
No
Yeah.
stamps for that one.
No
I mean,
stamps.
If you're a
The next
fan of
one,
Outer
the
Worlds,
next-
maybe you will. Be.
Yeah. The next one I hope has a stamp of approval.
So the next one,
I love me,
Yeah.
Mega Man.
I've got good news and I got bad news.
Okay, give me the.
Okay, so
Bad
let me
news.
I'm just gonna, and then we'll have Jack share his. Possibly he has no bad news. Mega Man. Okay, here's the good news. The episode rocks. The episode
Nice.
is awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Sweet.
absolutely 100% worth watching. Very good. The bad news.
Yep.
It's so short, man.
That's 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, it really feels like 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes because 3 minutes are the credits.
The credits. yeah.
Amazon, come on. Yeah,
It's
that's
5
it.
minutes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sucks.
But it sets itself up really well, and we can possibly have a very good episode for season 2.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
if they bring it back for season 2, give us like a 20-minute one.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Because-
Give it the Concord slot, please. Give it more runtime.
Give it the Concord slot.
Yeah, if only you had the Concord slot. Ah.
I'm sure they're taking them.
I don't know, man. The Outer Worlds has a 19-minute run. That's
Oh, I know. And that
longest.
one's long too, man.
That's the longest, and the Warhammer is 19 minutes. So it looks
Yeah.
like,
So, yeah,
yeah, give it the
at least
19-minute.
there were a couple of them that were past that 15-minute mark. You're right, and so some good.
I guess.
Yeah,
It's also 19 minutes.
this one
I'll
was
probably watch that one
short.
first. I'm gonna watch that one first. I think.
Which one?
Mega Man one.
It was good though. The Mega Man one
Yeah,
was
it was good.
great, and my other buddies who watched it, they loved it. It was just it fits the nature and the message of Mega Man perfectly.
Sick.
It's great.
That
Like,
makes me so happy.
no complaints other than it's like it feels like it's building up to something. Like you're like, oh, this is gonna be so good, and then the credits roll.
Yeah, it's like Rise that starts and ends. So
Yeah.
Like you said, everything ends in the cliffhanger, but that seems like it was
Yeah.
more of a cliffhanger than the others.
Correct.
yeah, the whole thing was just a cliffhanger.
Yep.
Dang.
Exactly.
Oh, well.
Oh
I'm
well.
excited. Okay,
So this next one I think is another long one.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
Exodus.
Exodus Odyssey.
Exodus.
Exodus Odyssey.
So here's a funny story. I did my homework and I looked to see what all these video games are based off of, right? Exodus has a similar story that Pac-Man does. It's actually a trailer for an upcoming game.
Oh,
Yeah, but here's the weird part. If you watch the Exodus episode and then you go watch the Exodus trailer, you're not going to think they're the same. So the
wow.
Exodus episode, I'm going to call it, I can describe it in 2 words. It's Interstellar Light.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not bad. I'm not gonna give it a thumbs down by all means. It's really not bad. It's just Interstellar. It has a similar theme and some
Right.
similar narratives that Interstellar does. I don't want to spoil too much.
Oh,
Interstellar gives you 2.5 hours to really kind of get fixed. This thing is just, this is the problem when you have these shows. It's only 15 minutes. And
Yeah, it's
this,
short.
so here's what's cool. When I watched the Exodus game trailer, I actually was like, oh my gosh, I want to play this. The Exodus game trailer looks sick because it's a spiritual successor to the Mass Effect trilogy.
ooh,
Mass
really?
Effect, yeah, the original team that made the original Mass Effect games, they left the studio, and this is the game they're making. So it's literally
Whoa.
the closest we're ever going to get to Mass. When you watch it, you're like, is this Mass Effect 4? It looks just like Mass Effect. But
Ooh.
this trailer, Jack, if I told you this was Mass Effect, would you even think that?
I mean, I'm not too familiar with Mass Effect,
Okay,
but
fair enough.
probably not.
Fair enough. The trailer was all right. The Exodus short was okay. Just put it that way.
Yeah. I would say it's worth a watch. I actually enjoyed it quite a lot, but I mean, compared to like Warhammer or one other episode we'll talk about,
Still a
it's
light
kind of a
stand.
middle and yeah, it's kind of a middle and pack. It had
Half a sting.
it was like Interstellar, which is cool, but you know, obviously not as good as Interstellar. But I mean, it's only
Still an incredible movie.
12 minutes that they have to work with. So,
Correct.
I thought it looked spectacular in a lot of areas and stuff. It had a good message. So, I liked it.
If I can add to that, I think I was being a little harsh on it because I overall thought I liked it. It was pretty decent. It's just that if you are enjoying this show and you're thinking, man, I wish I had more, then watch it.
Yeah,
I would say definitely watch it. You're not gonna feel like you wasted time or anything. So,
right.
But so there you go, half a stamp. or you can just give it a stamp.
Yeah, just give it a stamp.
Just give it a stamp.
You know, there's those stamps. So it's like you can't quite see what the stamp is, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's one where you screw it up.
Like a faded stamp.
A little bit of fade and all that. So
A little bit of fade. Yeah.
But with that said,
I have a feeling. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, with that said, though, the game itself, check it out. That Exodus game was pretty cool. So
okay, done.
Yep.
And I assume this episode 12 Spelunky tally has the same problem that Mega Man had. Since it's also 8 days.
No.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's funny is it's weird, right? There's just a way. There's just an art in being able to tell a story in a short amount of time. And I'm not saying Mega Man didn't have that. I want to say Mega Man was so good that you just wanted more.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving that a weakness to Mega Man, but I've never played Spelunky. But here was what made Spelunky so good. It was a good episode. I had no idea what the game was. Had no idea what it was based on. But 2 minutes in the episode, I knew exactly what the genre was. And I had a big grin because I'm like, oh my gosh, because guess what? We played one last night.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a giant throwback to roguelite games. A whole episode.
Well, that's cool. Okay.
And my buddy, who is a really big fan of roguelike games, he really liked it. He was like, oh my gosh, like everything the main character says is how I felt when I play these games. So it was a spiritually accurate, little message to people who like roguelike games.
Yes. And it's weird saying that it's only the same length as Mega Man, because I thought it was longer, actually.
I thought it was too.
Yep.
8 minutes.
Because it felt a lot more complete than the Mega Man episode,
Yes.
I thought.
Maybe that goes into what I was saying. The Mega Man was so good it went by quicker.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, but the Spelunky one I thought was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I would give it a stamp.
I mean, it's only
sounds like a
5
stamp.
minutes, even if you don't like it.
If you're a roguelike fan, yes, it's worth your time.
Yeah.
Done.
So
we've already kind of touched on the Concord episode
we
13.
did touch on the Concord, so okay.
I don't remember if you said the stamp or not. Not a stamp for
Concord.
this?
Yeah.
Faded
I mean,
stamp,
you're
access
never
or
going to
stamp?
see Concord again, so just for the novelty, watch it.
Okay.
Give it
That's
half
fair.
a stamp.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it a full stamp.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
You give it half.
Do you like Guardians of the Galaxy?
You like Guardians of the Galaxy? Are you
Galaxy.
somewhat curious? Actually, the half a stamp justifies the fact that, because I'm being serious, there's a scene that happens in space that visually is so dang cool. It's
I
worth
bet.
watching
I
once.
bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So dang cool. My gosh. What computers can do today. So,
Right?
speaking of what computers can do today, the next episode, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy crap. So,
It looks good
okay.
already.
Okay, so it's called Honor of Kings, man. Honor of Kings. It's based off a mobile game.
What?
What is the genre of the mobile game? Is
I
it
don't
just
know. I don't
playing
even
it?
care.
Is?
just playing Mahjong or wherever you say it?
Don't even know. I don't even care. I don't even have any desire to play the game at all. So, Steve, I went into this episode, blind, right?
Well, I'm going into it blind, yeah.
You're going to blind too.
Yeah.
Good. And look
I have
up.
no idea.
I'm not going to spoil anything for you, okay? Not going
Okay.
to spoil anything. Just go in blind. But all I'm going to say is this: when I was talking to Discord, I was mentioning. I think I was talking to Super Jump. I was saying that I have a big heart for anthologies, especially as a big horror movie fan. That's a very popular theme in horror.
Yes. Yes.
And you have to trudge through a lot of trash to find a gem, usually in anthologies.
Yes, you do.
This, it's hard because Warhammer was absolutely a gem. This was the other gem.
Really?
This episode
Yeah.
was
Based on a mobile game.
based on a mobile game.
based
This
on a mobile
episode was phenomenal. Like 10 out of 10. I consider it flawless. And
As I was reading the title, I thought I saw The Way of Kings written in there.
Yeah, I know,
But it's
right?
not The Way of Kings.
and I'll explain a few reasons why this episode is so good without spoiling anything.
Okay.
First, it's a mash of it feels like an ancient story combined with sci-fi elements. So you got that.
Oh.
So it takes complete and absolute advantage of the CGI in the computer because some of the imagery,
Yes.
some of the design and the writing, everything, the narrative, everything in this episode puts itself together so darn well. And it just, and as we were saying, Warhammer's the other best one. There's one thing
Yes.
that this one does that Warhammer doesn't, in my opinion. Warhammer's amazing. It's perfect. But Warhammer ends where you want more. This one, while it's one of the longer ones, isn't it like 18 or 20?
18 minutes.
Yeah,
18
but,
minutes.
18
While it's one of the longer ones, it feels satisfying as to where you felt like you watched a whole thing. It has a beginning, has a middle, it has an end, and when it's over, you're satisfied. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Dang.
I can't
Dang.
express enough. This is a must-see. If you're going to watch
then you-
any of these... any
Did
of
you look up the mobile game after?
No,
Dang.
this is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. I looked it up because I did. When I saw it, I'm like, I have to see what game this is. And the second I saw some mobile game, I just started laughing. I'm like, that, of course. Of
I'm
course.
not
Like,
gonna
this,
look it up. I'm
this
gonna wait.
is the stereotype where you'll have like these amazing cinematics made for these little mobile games. And
The
I
cinematics
don't
are
even
better.
know how related it is to the mobile game. I don't care. All I know is I got this amazing episode that I can keep revisiting because it works by itself. It's a
Sick.
perfect standalone story.
Sick. Okay. Well, this is a hard step for approval. How about you?
Yeah,
So,
2
Jack,
thumbs up.
Did you get to say anything about this? I don't remember.
I don't know if there's anything else to add, but except, yeah, it actually had a complete story, beginning and end, like Alex said. And it was, the CGI looks so good with kind of the way, like, I guess you can say, I'll just say it's not really spoiling anything, that kind of, it's a city that moves around, kind of.
It's a
And there's these people that, like, challenge basically the god of the city and how they show that, like, the god's perspective of the world of the things. It's
so good.
it looks so, yeah, just epic and awesome. And
Okay,
still,
so let me-
like,
Yeah.
Let me have a follow-up question. Because we have
Yes.
these Brandon Sanderson adaptations that need to be adapted.
Okay.
Hollywood, figure out your cram. Anyway, if that sequence you just explained, Jack, it made me think of the shards in the Cosmere universe of Brandon Sanderson's books.
It's a
Would that be something you'd like to see in like the Cosmere adaptations? It's like this is how a shard sees the Cosmere universe, and
if
it's
oh,
like that
go ahead, Jack.
level.
I mean,
yeah.
I guess I'd probably say that maybe it would be similar, but this is kind of just the
Just
future
one
and
planet.
space-time, just kind of, well, it was basically the universe that they're looking at, like,
Right.
how it works and everything, and he's explaining all this, and it's
It's a
just so cool.
well.
Sick.
Add to what he's saying.
And I don't want to spoil anything
Right.
Okay.
We're not gonna
for
spoil
it.
anything.
Don't,
What
don't say nothing.
what makes it so good is it's philosophical.
Yeah.
It's a very philosophical, and it makes you think. Like it does everything that a good story does.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's so good, so good. You just all I gotta say is you just gotta see it, and when you do watch
Good.
it, I gotta hear your thoughts.
God,
Yeah.
we will have a follow-up episode, obviously.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So this is an absolute must see. I was going to say if anybody was to watch this show, Secret Level, they would have to watch Warhammer and Honor of Kings. Have to.
Yep.
It's
Okay,
up to
I guess that means episode 15 wasn't that great either.
Oh, well, I guess we didn't get to that yet, right?
No.
Yep. Not yet.
No, episode 15.
Episode 15. So
What
are
is
we,
this?
are we going to go into that?
We are. Yeah, let's
Okay.
go into that. Let's
All
go
right, so-
playtime fulfillment.
Episode 15 is unique because it's not based off a game.
What?
Yep.
Really?
It's not based off a game. It was
Is it its own thing?
It was an
This show?
ambitious kind of mini episode where they were affiliating a bunch of Easter eggs from Sony. So it does.
This is the big PlayStation.
Yes,
one
it
that
does
was
something similar to Astrobot.
Gotcha.
That's
sense.
all I'll say.
Okay,
Because it's hard to talk about it without spoiling it.
Okay,
But
but it's mostly like a promo thing for 12 minutes.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah,
I'll say it kind of
Just
felt
It's a-
self-serving because I'm like, is this about the games in here? Because it's like
Sounds like Sony.
making fun of like microtransactions and stuff when Sony just came out with Concords, like the most like chasing the thing that can come out, a live service game. Like no, it's just completely checking every box, and I'm like, why are you guys trying to lecture us on this and what a fun game is when you just failed that spectacularly in making a fun game, you know, that people want to play.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It felt so much preaching from somebody that didn't deserve it.
I'd say
It's just what I'll say.
if you're a gamer, especially if you're a Sony gamer, it might be worth seeing once.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll watch it
I mean,
once.
there's probably people who appreciate it more than I do.
Right.
There are maybe more Sony fans than me.
I totally thought something was going to happen, but that didn't. And we're not doing a spoiler discussion, so we'll just leave it at that. And it would have been cool if it did, but woe is me.
So going back, the absolute must-sees here. Episode 5
It's a
for Warhammer. Sorry, Episode 5 Warhammer. Episode 10 Mega Man.
it's a
And episode 14 Honor of Kings.
yep.
Those are your top 3.
Those are the top 3.
Probably.
Well,
Yeah.
The top 2 absolutely would be Warhammer and Honor of Kings.
So Mega Man would be 3rd.
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair.
I
Okay.
myself, I'd probably put Warhammer in front of Mega Man, but no, sorry, Unreal Tournament. But as I mentioned,
Yeah.
but
I might put Sifu over Mega Man for me. I really like that episode.
yeah. So it was a couple of those early ones, but we don't want to convolute it. But I would say those 3 are definitely must-sees. And then if you like them and you want to see more, watch the other stamp of approval.
Watch other stamp of approvals. And I will edit this so you know where the stamp of approval is.
If you found yourself just loving Warhammer, it might be worth your time watching Unreal Tournament, Sifu, and Armored Core.
Sick.
If that helps, I would say, yeah.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
All right. So here's my question for season 2. We're going to season 2 with wishes and hopes.
Yep. So
Because as you probably noticed, there was no Nintendo games
nope.
in that compilation whatsoever.
Nope. So anybody who watches Warhammer or Honor of Kings is going to go, you mean my
Word.
video game can look like that? like that's all they need to see. That's all they need to see. Even somebody at Nintendo can have a brain moment and be like, "Oh, this could be it." I doubt Nintendo's going to do it.
Therefore, Metroid can get its first adaptation.
This would be by far the smartest and best decision for Metroid you can possibly do, at least to begin, by far, because not
We
only
want a full adaptation for sure. Don't
Oh, we do.
want,
I'm
I
not
don't want
saying
a full
we don't want a
2-hour
movie, but
This could be a good introduction.
there is a very specific theme that this animated studio is built for. They're very keen on sci-fi. Most of these have a science fiction theme.
Come on,
And
Nintendo.
so Metroid it fits in the puzzle so well that it's actually really frustrating for me to realize that Nintendo will probably not do it. It's actually they don't it's a lose for the fans because you get a team behind a team like this to do what Nintendo can write the script for all I care. They can write the script, but you have these guys animated. You got
They said they
yourself.
wanted to be heavily involved in whatever process that, they want their hand in it. And I'm hopefully Amazon will be willing to work with them. They haven't worked with Brandon Sanderson very well, but hopefully with Nintendo.
Right.
So I know Metroid well.
This was made for Metroid. This is Metroid's chance right here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Jack and I obviously want to see Blizzard. This is perfect for StarCraft.
Here's my problem with Blizzard. Blizzard can do this, but they can also do it themselves. So
They could.
there's really no point for them to be on this. Just make more cinematics, Blizzard.
But here's the thing. Blizzard's only making cinematics for their games. These guys can be basically contractors making it for entertainment.
The last episode of season 1, Nick, you said, was a big PlayStation, thing. Astrobot for season 2?
See, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Astrobot.
I would take it over episode 15 this time.
Are you suggesting Astrobot just has his own episode?
Has its own episode.
That's exactly what the show's for.
Exactly. I think it would be wonderful.
That would be awesome.
Astrobot just won Game of the Year. And it's getting super big. You gotta have a little episode.
Yeah, I would totally watch it. Be totally excited to see that. That'd be awesome.
It'd be sweet.
Yep. It's like there's so many things they can do with that. They probably wouldn't even say a word. It's all animated.
No. Yeah, you don't need any words. Yeah, it'd be great. Oh, I'm excited.
Very cartoon language, body language.
Come on, Sony. You did it once. Just dip again. We have Astrobot.
We have an opportunity. If I had to make any guesses to what I'm guaranteed we'll see next time, we're going to probably get a God of War episode in season 2.
Probably.
And we're probably going to get a Helldivers episode in season 2.
Please, that's just.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure a lot more stuff are going to try to get on board.
That's got to happen.
Yes.
Since this was
make it happen, guys.
That's what I'm thinking is
more democracy. You just do it.
More people. This is perfect for Halo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they can redeem themselves.
They can absolutely redeem themselves. Like the sky's the limit with this show.
Yeah, for real.
It honestly is. It honestly is. And it's not just Metroid. Nintendo can put so many things in this. They can put so many things, but we'll see. Maybe we'll give it
Yoshi's Woolly World. That's what we're going to do. This is the redemption arc for Yoshi's Woolly World.
Right?
Putting an F-Zero episode in there. You're never going to make a new game.
Gosh. See,
would that be sick? Star Fox?
Star Fox.
Yes, Star Fox.
Like F-Zero. I didn't even think of that. F-Zero, this is made for it. This is straight up made for it.
Yeah.
Not Mario.
That is.
We already got Mario Kart and Mario movie.
Yeah.
I would see
so
F-Zero
cool.
over Mario Kart any day.
Oh, for sure.
We already got the Mario Kart.
Exactly. As you say, we already got Mario Kart.
You're right.
So we're good. We're good.
Yeah. Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Sky's
We don't
the
need
limit.
any more Mario. They've already got that covered.
Yes, they do. And it's working.
Absolutely.
So.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. I don't know if there's anything else to say. The sky's the limit, like Alex said.
I guess I am playing Bloodborne, so I'd love to see Bloodborne.
I guarantee we'll see it. We'll probably see Elden Ring with how big it is.
Yeah. Elden Ring's a good possibility.
Oh, yeah.
That would be interesting.
But isn't this cool? Just take this, just absorb it. We are living in a time where video games are coming on TV. Just as much.
Finally,
yes.
And they're finally getting good adaptations too.
Exactly.
They're no longer. Some of them are.
Yes.
Not all of them. Some of them are still flops.
It's
There's
better
others
than
that
the
are actually getting a good. Yes, exactly.
It's a lot better.
What Alex said.
I hope that this Warhammer episode shows people that people actually want to see, the game universe as the game universe.
Yes.
Not just like, oh, we got to make the Space Marines
yes.
weak because people in real life are weak. No, I want to see a Space Marine just completely mow everybody down like this.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
That makes total sense to me. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
and they have monsters that were actually beating, that fought the Space Marines as a real threat. Like, make a monster that is a real threat like that. That was a really cool monster in it.
Mm-hmm. And I want to see StarCraft.
I love the episode.
Yeah, obviously StarCraft.
Yeah, obviously. Please.
Damn, if they're working on a new StarCraft game, maybe they'll want to drum up some anticipation.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of ideas. If anyone is
Then they
looking
can name
for-
the episode StarCraft Ghost.
Nope, it'll get canceled if they do that.
It'll get canceled.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Alex, what would be one that would never get adapted but you want to see?
What?
Never, never get adapted.
That could never have a chance to get adapted, but
Metroid.
you'd want to see it. All right, Metroid.
That is it's so true.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Woolly World, man. I already talked about that one.
I'll have to leave that in the comments. I'll have to think on that.
Yeah, me too. But obviously, Woolly World would be awesome.
Yeah, it's mine. I'd say Nine Souls recent game. They'll never get adapted, but kept seeing episode 14, I thought that would be a great one.
Ori in the Blind Forest.
Yeah, Ori in the Blind Forest. That actually could be possible.
That would be very possible. Or, hear me out. What about Banjo-Kazooie?
Ooh.
I would be there. I would be there. Oh man. Now we're just
Well,
throwing stuff.
adaptation.
Dude. Animal Crossing. Oh, I'd be there. You can see Isabel. We have to have the cameo from the Doom guy at some point.
Make an episode with Doom Guy and Isabel. Make it
In the
happen.
Doom world.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Isabel's like, "Ah." That'd be awesome. Nintendo will never sign off on that. Anyway, let us know down in the comments below what you'd love to see. And be sure to subscribe, like, and ring the notification bell so you know when other videos like this pop up. And thank you again so much, Steph and Alex, for joining me.
Yep, thank you.
And until next time,
Keep it nerdy.
keep it nerdy.
Keep it nerdy.
Nerdy.